Next hearing, 60 Sunset Road. Proposing conversion of unfinished space above the garage to living space.
I don't know if you had all the photos. I mounted them. Use them as well.
So Jenny, you're going to make the presentation?
Yep.
Okay, so we've given this about a half an hour. If you can do it in 15 minutes or so.
That won't be a problem.
That's great.
So what we have is something similar to the other job that we did the last hearing, which was 6 Walnut Road. It was just an existing house that was built in 2007. At that time, it didn't need any kind of planning board approval, no RGFA. It was basically at that threshold. Since that time, that was the time when Courtney was the building inspector. Basically, there was different versions of how the RGFA was calculated at that time for attic space versus garage space, storage, that kind of stuff. So as Joe had mentioned, part of the reason why we're in front of the board is actually updating the RGFA calculation for the garage section. Originally, it's shown as storage. At the time when Courtney was here, storage above a garage, even though it's on the second floor, wasn't part of the RGFA. Now it is. So updating that, we're not finishing off a section of the garage, we're just updating the actual RGFA because it actually has a storage section above that. But we are looking to actually finish off the attic space. So when you add those two in, that's where our new RGFA comes in. So with that, we kind of wanted to put together a compiled as-built plan of all the data that we had to date, basically with the house, the driveway, the pool in the back, and of course the lighting, basically, which this was the original submission. So basically this is all just the existing lights as shown on the project site. There's actually no landscape lighting at all. All the lights are either on the house or there's two lights in the pool area. Between all the recessed lights and the pool lights, we have about 38,750 lumens. That's the total number for the lights. So what we did is we looking at the recessed lights, and we wanted to take a look at those to see if we could do the same thing as we did on the other project site. We modeled those to get the numbers all the way down. So what we did is I submitted the fixture to Joe. We actually did use a similar remodel fixture for those recessed lights, and we were able to get the number down to 21,880. So basically, it's a much smaller LED, and it fits right into that section. Basically, you have to take out the old fixture section and drill it up, and then the actual LED light goes around. So no footprint changes other than that.
So the fixture gets to be rated for the
correct. Yeah. So it's not just swapping out a bulb; it's actually literally swapping out a fixture. So it has to be that bulb. And that's the highest rating for that fixture, that bulb.
So this proposed house, the new RGFA, the new calculation is what, 6648?
No, it's
or is that the current? Is that
that's
where it currently stands? I'm just looking at this on the 60 Sunset.
ooh, that's actually from 6 Walnut.
Okay.
That's the
okay.
This is actually
Okay.
so the original was just under 3,800 square feet,
Okay.
and it's 5,500 square feet. And so that's basically
So that's
that's because of the garage, the whole upstairs of the garage section.
Okay.
And so are you replacing any other light fixtures besides the ones on the soffits?
Yeah, what we're doing is actually we're not. It's all because they actually had 19 recessed lights. So by fixing all those, basically brought the number all the way down. Joe and I were talking about. We do have 2 lights in the pool area, which are the old halogen. Basically floodlight, old school pool lights that right now they're white lights, so we could talk about we can adopt ones. I did look to see if I could get a remodel light for that, but I couldn't. So we could talk about putting a lens on it at least to reduce the lumens for those, which they're at about they're at 4,000 each. So if we put the blue or the red light on there, you're going to knock those down by 1,000 or so, 1,500.
Are these which in the pool?
In the pool, under the water. So what happens, you have the white, red, and blue. So a lot of times you can get the lens that covers it up, and the lens itself will knock the lumens down by 20 or 30%.
And are there no other fixtures that are not night sky compliant or anything?
There's actually the only what we had is, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, there was 2 floodlights that we actually were part of the removals for this. There was 2 floodlights in the garage, so they were actually being removed as shown on the plans. Everything else is basically, there's only 4 sconces on the actual house. The rest of them are recessed, so everything's all under the eaves and under the porch area, so there's no other lights. And then basically all 4 of the sconces are all in the back of the house. And this one. Yeah.
The other side,
Yeah.
Jay has more of the.
So there's the sconces on the house right there. So there's the 4, and then what we have is underneath the soffits for the garage are all the recessed lights. And then you can see the big porch in the front. That's where all those recessed lights are.
So my feeling, and Jeff, you just want to flip around, was that there was adequate screening on all the perimeters. The only thing is on the rear. You see in the top right hand, that's actually town conservation land. That's the only area that was open. Everything else seemed to be adequately screened.
Yeah, and it'd be great if you just knocked out the beacon effect on that pool.
Yeah,
That really is right by the.
yeah. I spoke with our client, and then she's amenable to doing the same thing that we talked about. So we can easily put that in there. I can modify the number and get you an updated plan.
Is the garage actually attached to the house, or is it separate?
It's a detached, but there's a porch that attaches them together. Yeah.
And so that's going to be additional living space?
Well, it's originally it was the storage above there, but now it's getting counted as RGFA because it's supposed to, because you're not supposed to have storage above the garage. And so it's not finished right now, but it's, but we have to count it as RGFA. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, any other questions? Any comments? Does this look all right to everybody?
It does, looks all right to me.
All right? Okay, then, in that case, I guess we should close the hearing and schedule the, oh, I'm sorry.
Taking public comments or not?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you had a question.
Just quiet.
Sorry.
Get used to it.
Susan,
I have a question. On the pool lights, it sort of bothers me, the idea of having a light. I mean, that may be the rules, but having a light that you then have to dim after you've spent the money and wasted the electricity to generate the higher lighting. And I just wondered if it was possible to actually find an alternative. And if there's more than one light, I've seen pools that have only one light fixture.
Yes.
And if you have only one light fixture, then you don't have to, then you can actually save electricity, save energy, disable the other one. Maybe that's too disruptive, I don't know. It just surprises me that there's no way to retrofit with an energy conserving lower lumens.
When we were looking at it, it's not that we can't swap out the bulb. We were trying to find an actual fixture, remodel fixture, which I couldn't find for the pool area. We could swap out the bulbs, which would then change the lumens itself because the bulb ratings. But what we want to do is a long-lasting effect where someone isn't just...
Right, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But
Don't mind flushing those lights.
I do. If you have a condition, I mean, then you've got to have somebody who's watching, who's paying attention. And maybe people aren't trustworthy. There's always ways to cheat, I guess. But
well, they could always take the lenses out, you know.
well, exactly.
But,
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, yeah, I know, it's not a perfect
Anyway,
solution.
it's a minor point, except every little watt hour counts.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true, we could disconnect one of the fixtures, but then they can reconnect the fixture. I mean,
Well, but
it's
even
already
if you can
there.
lower the wattage of the bulb.
Yeah, no, but that's just changing the bulb out. I mean, ideally, we would have seen this, but we didn't. So now we're coming, doing the best we can, coming in and retrofitting and backing it down. No, if this had come in before us, then we would have had conditions on those fixtures that would have.
But how did it, oh, you mean because this was done under Courtney, and so you didn't have authority?
That's
I see.
right. That's what we're doing here is trying to
Clean
go
up the best
back
we
and
can, yeah.
right. That's
Well, you
the
can always
name of
put
the game.
a requirement that the fuse be.
So, what about, I'm sure they're probably expensive though, LED fixtures for the pool.
Yeah, we could take a look at it. That's what I said. In the time that I spoke with Joe this morning, I went through trying to find basically a remodel fit for the actual pool light. But yeah, we can, in the time before, I can try to, when I go to update the plan for just swapping out basically the lens, putting the lenses on, I could still do a little more research to see if I can find a good fit for a remodel on it.
That'd be the best solution.
Yeah, oh, without a doubt, it's a permanent solution, yeah.
Yeah. If you could find one. I mean, something tells me we're going to be seeing a number of these, so it'd be worthwhile knowing.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. We'll make our determination based on what Jay finds out in further research on the light fixtures, the pool. And so when we review the COA, we'll take that into consideration.
And there's no indoor connection, obviously, between the attic space and the garage
Correct.
that's being finished and the house.
Exactly, yeah, this is all, there's no space to get to there.
Okay. I'm sorry, anyone else have a comment? I should have asked. Okay. Does somebody want to make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor of closing the hearing?
Aye.
Good. When are we going to review the COA?
I'll have to figure that out because we're going to have a bunch and kind of to figure out a block of time that then we can handle some of these. Besides July 2nd.
meetings.
Well, we're gonna have, I think tonight we're gonna have to just figure out where we can get like 3 members together to approve some decisions some morning.
Oh, you mean after the second?
Right.
All right. Good. So we will review the draft conditions of approval. We're not sure what date, but Joe will let you know what date. But you don't need to come for that if you don't want to. We'll just be talking about the light fixtures. So.
Right, so we'll just do it if you want.
Okay. Great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.